Our mind is made up of this conscious and the subconscious. Everybody knows that. But when we live in the world, all the impulses that come in, everything we hear, see, taste, smell, and touch comes into our mind. We recognize everything. You're even subconsciously aware that your shirt is clinging to your body. Now you're probably consciously aware of that as well. The thing is that over 90% of the impulses that come in, of everything we do, hear, see, etc., is subconscious. We're not aware of that. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Whatever we see, whatever we hear, is still going to be there. It's a common phenomenon of when a tree falls in a forest and no one's there to hear it. Does it still make a sound? Well, the thing is, in the world there's a lot of different things that go on. And most of them we ignore. We don't see these things, we don't recognize them, we're not aware of them. But again, that doesn't mean they're not there. And this becomes an interesting fact when we turn this into the self-improvement and personal development industry. Because what happens then with all of these things that you see? What happens if someone is pessimistic? Is that really all there is? And the truth is, it's not. It's just what they're aware of. That doesn't mean that's the only thing that's there. And this brings us to one sentence that's really true, and that's believing is seeing. Now let me give you an example to elaborate on this a little bit. Let's say you believe the stereotype that women are bad drivers. Every time you see a driver that's bad, you look over to see if it's a man or a woman. And every time it's a woman, you remember that. That doesn't mean that the bad male drivers don't exist. Either you ignore it, you justify it in a different way, or you forget about it. But it doesn't mean that they're not there. In the same way, when you look over and it's a good driver and it's a woman, you may also ignore that. But that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. That doesn't mean it's not there. And similarly, we have certain beliefs that shape what we become aware of and what we try to repress and what we try to make subconscious or what we leave there. Because our mind cannot possibly make everything aware. It's not powerful enough to do that. It would overload us. It would be way too much to do. So it filters. But it filters only by what it deems is important, which is often what we think about a lot. What you have to imagine is that your mind is like a country with a lot of different roads. Some are country roads, some are highways, some are autobahns, and some are just regular roads. Whichever thoughts you use more have more traffic, which means your mind tries to empower those. It builds roads out of country roads, it builds highways out of roads, it builds autobahns out of highways. It tries to make them more easily accessible and better for all the thoughts that travel through them. Now, when your subconscious mind is thinking about something, chances are much more likely that the thought will travel down the highway than it will the country road. Which means whatever thought you've had a lot, that's where your mind usually goes to. So when you think that the world is a beautiful, amazing place, when you love everything, you'll find more examples of that being true. That doesn't mean that it's necessarily true. Again, a lot of the negatives you just subconsciously push out of the way. You're not becoming aware of them. That doesn't mean they don't exist. But in the same way, if you're pessimistic about the world, it doesn't mean that the world is a bad place. You're just not aware of the positives. And in that way, believing is seeing. Because once you start believing certain things, once you empower certain beliefs, that's all you will see. That's all you will become aware of. And this becomes a really powerful tool if used right. Because you can shape your own beliefs. You can train yourself to think a certain way. You can empower these thoughts and empower these certain roads that you want to have empowered so that they become autobahns or highways. And then with that, your subconscious mind is more likely to make those thoughts aware. So a common example is if you think there's an abundance of money in the world. If you want to believe that, strengthen that thought. Affirm it to yourself. Think about that in dozens of ways. Find examples where that's true. That doesn't mean it's actually true. It just means that your perception of the world will adopt that belief, and your mind will automatically make more examples aware to you because it thinks that this is important. You thought about it a lot, so your mind goes, okay, this is being thought about a lot. This must be important for some way. So let's make it aware. Let's make the awareness decide what to do with this thought, and instead of just making it subconscious. The world itself will not change. It's just your perception about it. But that's a pretty big deal. Because if you believe that the world is a great place, an amazing place, you'll have a lot more fun. And if you believe the world is a horrible place, you'll have a lot less fun. That being said, right now you also have certain beliefs that lead you to become aware of certain things. Another great example of this is something you've probably encountered yourself, that if you're in an unhappy relationship, all you're aware of are happy singles. You see happy singles everywhere. That doesn't mean unhappy singles don't exist, or that happy couples don't exist. But again, they're not becoming aware to you. Or if you're unhappy being single, all you see is happy couples. Because that's what you're focusing on. That's what you're thinking about all the time. When you're single and unhappy, you think about how great it would be to be in a relationship. And when you're in an unhappy relationship, you think how great it would be to be single. And then all those examples pop out to you. It's that exact same process, that exact same thinking that can change your perception of everything. Of the world, of money, of positivity, of success, of empowering yourself, of being intelligent, of all kinds of beliefs. But to do that, you first have to know what the belief is that you want. You don't necessarily have to know what belief is that you have. It would help, of course. But the main thing is knowing what the belief is that you want to adopt, and then finding examples of it. Because you need to strengthen it first. And once it's strengthened, you need to become more aware of the positive things about yourself. A great way that a lot of self-improvement experts talk about this is when they say to focus on 3 great things that happened today. Because that way you're raising your awareness about the good things that happened to you. And you become more proud and more happy about how the days went. You become more appreciative and grateful about the work that you're doing. And you have a better view on life afterwards. But this can be done with any belief. You can see whatever you want to believe. At the end, you can shape how you see the world yourself. You can shape what kind of experience you have here by just believing what you want to see.